Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us at the Yale-NUS College Graduation Ceremony 2018. The ceremony will begin soon. A gentle reminder before the start of the ceremony. Please switch your mobile phones and other electronic devices to the silent mode if you have not already done so. Please also note that while the speakers are delivering their speeches during the ceremony, guests who leave the hall will not be able to re-enter until the speeches are over. We seek your kind understanding on this. Thank you. Good afternoon. The graduation ceremony is about to begin. Please turn off your mobile phones or switch them to the silent mode. Please also note that while the speakers are delivering their speeches during the ceremony, guests who leave the hall will not be able to re-enter until the speeches are over. We seek your kind understanding on this. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us at the Yale-NUS College Graduation Ceremony 2018. The ceremony will begin soon. Please switch your mobile phones and other electronic devices to the silent mode if you have not already done so. In the meantime, sit back and relax as we share with you more about the graduands and Yale-NUS College.
Yale-NUS College, a vibrant community of learning, inspiring a new generation of thinkers. We are an exciting diversity of people who reach across boundaries to learn from the best of Asia and the world. Yale-NUS College, founded by two great universities, Yale University and the National University of Singapore, draws on the strengths and histories of its parent institutions.
Well, it's actually quite different.
Our curriculum challenges our students to explore and embark on their own learning journeys, to discover their passions,
Yeah, that would be really, really cool. Today,
and to realize their dreams.
There are things that can sting you and bite you.
We are creating a culture of creativity, curiosity, and big thinking. One that will inspire each Yale-NUS graduate to make a difference in his or her world. We are a place for the meeting of minds, where colleagues, classmates, and friends learn together and teach one another. Not just in the classroom, but over conversations in the Sky Gardens during the heat of day, or during late-night excursions to the butteries in the cool of night. All made livelier with a global community of thinkers who call Yale-NUS their home away from home. Knowledge curated on the college grounds is then put to test in the real world. Each Yale-NUS student returns home with broader perspectives and widened horizons. We are more than an institution of learning. We are inspired to think big and to make a difference. We are encouraged to question, to seek bold solutions for a better tomorrow. We are a community of learning, founded by two great universities, in Asia for the world.
My first interaction with Holly was we were learning the batch dance, you know, the orientation dance, and then I was making noise with a bunch of other guys, Hunter and whoever else, and Holly scolded me. She was like, guys!
Just how the entire school was in the one building. I have great memories of just running up and down flights of stairs to talk to people, to catch them.
There was this girl across who used to spin around in her room. And it became this sort of like random and weird hangout thing for us to just stand there in RC4, sipping on chai tea and just like watching the girls spin.
Something I remember from RC4 was this time that my suite and I spontaneously started playing a floorball game in our corridor. I think we were all winners at the end of the day.
I feel like the memorable parts were in particular when we would be in the toilet in RC4, like showering, like after practice.
Yeah, and just having conversations while we like shampoo.
Okay, I like the heritage tree. I like the Wi-Fi. I think both are, well, the Wi-Fi is a little bit shoddy recently, but I appreciate both.
One of the main ways that I think Yale-NUS has really changed me. It made me a more confident person.
Well, I came in thinking I was a child. Now I feel more confident in being able to speak the things I want, being more cognizant of like my ideas are also valid and whatnot.
Yeah, this is, I feel, the most me.
Yeah, this is definitely the favorite version of myself I've ever been
same.
in my whole life.
I think for me, Yale-NUS has become kind of like a family, or even like a family member.
Friendship plus music, that's like, what else can you ask for?
Yeah, it's like you come for the music, but you stay for the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to go.
Yeah, it's been great. Like, it's not always been great, but in general, it's been great.
I think the one word that would describe my 4 years here is just the best.
Transformative.
Magical.
Fulfilling.
Warm.
I think imagination.
Enlightening.
Fruitful discomfort, I think.
It's beautiful. Beautiful in a sense I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Can you spell that?
I think my word would be dream. In the sense that none of this has quite felt real.
Super tiring, but rewarding.
I mean, who's to know? To be honest, I've not been to another university. Maybe it's far better. But I've had a good time here. Like, I can safely say that I've had like a solid, good time here.
What's a more fun word for roller coaster?
Tumultuous.
Even less academic. I want the motions of a roller coaster without it being a word.
Wavy.
Yeah, I like wavy.
Groovy.
Groovy. But groovy not in the good sense, always.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's been humbling, I guess. That's the most thing.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks. I know. I came up with it. Not the word, I chose
I came
it.
up with growth lab, which is pretty
decent.
Class of 2018 is the best class.
Who I am now, today, is in large part because of you all. And I sincerely thank you for your role in making me who I am.
Distinguished guests, please rise to welcome the graduands and the ceremonial procession. Please remain standing until the national anthem is sung.
I declare open the Yale-NUS College Graduation Ceremony 2018.
Please be seated. Distinguished guests, thank you for joining us today as we celebrate Yale-NUS's graduating class. We would now like to invite Professor Tan Tai Young, President of Yale-NUS College, to deliver the opening address. President Tan, please.
Madam Kay Kwok, Presiding Officer and Chair of the Yale-NUS Governing Board, Mr. Xie Fu Hua, NUS Board of Trustees Chairman, members of the NUS Board of Trustees and Yale-NUS Governing Board, Professor Tan Ing Chai, President NUS, graduates, parents, and friends. Let me begin by extending my warmest congratulations to the class of 2018 and their loved ones on this special day. Just about a year ago, I was part of an audience like you all. I remember watching my daughter make her way up to the stage on her graduation day, her face serious and solemn, mentally willing the mortarboard not to slide off her head, desperate not to trip. A handshake with the presiding officer, scroll in hand, the long solo walk to the other side of the stage. At the time of her graduation, she had already started working. There was a new enforced regularity to her days. Work starts at 8:30 a.m. and ends at 7 p.m. on a good day, 10 p.m. on not so good days. One day over dinner, she said to me, I knew working life won't be easy, but I didn't expect the learning curve to be so steep. I do my best to reassure her, but I also know that the path is hers alone to navigate, that the wisdom she acquires and the missteps she makes along the way will be of far greater value to her than any advice I can give. No doubt your peers from the class of 2017 have their own experiences of life after graduation. A number of them have rejoined the college as staff members. Annette is at the Center for International and Professional Experience. Or SIPE as we know it. Anshuman and Yihao are both doing research. Chris is a Dean's Fellow. Cherwin is at the President's Office. Kevin is at Public Affairs and has, with the guidance of his colleagues, done a wonderful job organizing this year's graduation ceremony. The early days in any new job can be daunting, and I'm glad and relieved to see the 6 who are back at the college, as well as my own daughter, settling into their roles. If we go back in time to when I was your age, I was the first in my family to pursue a degree. My graduation was a moment of quiet pride for my parents. There were no emotive speeches imparting life lessons or advice for the graduating class. We were expected to get on with our lives, work things out on our own. It's not that people were uncaring, it was just the way things were. My first job was to teach at the history department at NUS. It was work I found great satisfaction in. Over the years, I occasionally get news of former students. Many have built successful careers. More than one has ventured into politics. A few have become disillusioned and disheartened because life has, for various reasons, not worked out the way they wanted it to. All of us are constantly searching for meaning in our lives. We seek self-fulfillment, recognition, acceptance, happiness, a soulmate we can trust. We wrestle with our insecurities. I would like to think most of us try as best we can to be better individuals. And so we devote ourselves to causes. We strive to improve things. And we arm ourselves with checklists. Secure that first job. Look for a better job. Land that promotion. Pursue a graduate degree. Pick up a new skill. Buy a flat. Start a family. Travel. Exercise more. Eat less. Amidst all that, we want to improve the community we find ourselves part of. The compulsion to order and to make sense of our lives is relentless. This compulsion may perhaps have been one of the reasons why some of you chose to enroll in Yale-NUS. In your search for bearings, you look to a liberal education and intellectual inquiry for direction. At Yale-NUS, you found yourself in a company of like-minded people. Now the time has come when you have to leave the college. You will meet people from different places who think and do things differently. All this can, of course, be exciting and stimulating. But on occasion, these differences may jar. They may have serious repercussions and may be even hard to resolve. That's when some of you will find the values you've been schooled in, such as empathy, patience, resilience, the willingness to engage opposing views and not rush to judgment, put to the test. Life can be tough and unfair, and it can be absurd. You will need a heavy dose of equanimity to navigate it. I hope what you've learned at Yale-NUS will prove useful in the future, be it having an open and outward-looking perspective of the world, intellectual rigor and curiosity, or the experiences gained from intense engagement in living and learning at the residential colleges. You've had your ups and downs, your moments of elation, and a fair share of frustrations as you grew with the college. Even when there were differences in views, there was the underlying understanding that we all wanted what's best for the college. While there's still plenty of work to be done, all of you should feel very proud of what you have accomplished. The final moments on campus will be bittersweet, for they bring to a close the comforting familiarity of college life. The physical move is the easy part. It's the mental shift that takes getting used to. As you move on to the next stage of your life, I hope you bring with you fond memories of college and of friendships made during your time here. It's hard not to get sentimental at moments like these, but a simple farewell seems the most appropriate on this occasion. And so I sincerely wish each one of you graduating today good luck and Godspeed.
Thank you, President Tan. Distinguished guests, I would now like to introduce our graduation speaker, Professor Kishore Mahbubani. Professor Mahbubani is the Senior Advisor of University and Global Relations and Professor in Practice of Public Policy at the National University of Singapore. He previously served for 33 years in Singapore's diplomatic service and is recognized as an expert on Asian and world affairs. An advocate of liberal arts and sciences education, Professor Mahbubani has been a strong supporter of Yale-NUS College since our early days. We now invite him to address the graduating class. Professor Mahbubani, please.
Madam Kay Kwok, Presiding Officer and Chair of the Yale-NUS Governing Board, Mr. Xie Fu Hua, Chairman, NUS Board of Trustees, members of the NUS Board of Trustees and Yale-NUS Governing Board, Professor Tan Eng Chai, President of NUS, Professor Tan Tai Yong, President of Yale-NUS College, graduates and parents. It is for me truly a great privilege and honor, as well as a great personal pleasure, to be invited to deliver this address. Why so? I say personal pleasure because I was personally present in Yale. As a member of the Yale President's Council on International Activities, PCIA, when the then president of Yale, Rick Levin, first mooted the idea of a Yale-NUS college. And when Rick Levin first raised it, it seemed like a wild and impossible dream. I genuinely feared that this project would not get off the ground because of potential resistance from the Yale and NUS communities. Indeed, the odds of success were probably less than 50% when the idea was first mooted. And I'm not even exaggerating. But as you can see, today, this wild and impossible dream has been realized. So perhaps let's begin with a special round of applause for this wild and impossible dream, the Yale-NUS College. Now comes the hard part. As the beneficiaries of this wild, impossible dream, my message to you is this: each and every one of you now has a moral responsibility to also think of and launch your own wild and impossible dreams. Why do I say this? I say this because we live in very strange and very unusual times. As Charles Dickens would have said, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Best of times? I bet many of you don't believe it, because we seem to be drowning in bad news every day, and it seems hard to believe that we are in the best of times. Most of you graduates are in your early 20s, so let me give you a very shocking statistic for your generation. You should know that humanity has made greater progress in your lifetime than in any other period of human history. Amazing, isn't it? In my latest book, Has the West Lost It?, I quote Johann Norberg of the Cato Institute as saying, if someone had told you in 1990 that over the next 25 years, world hunger would decline by 40%, child mortality would halve, and extreme poverty would fall by 3/4, you'd have told them that they were a naive fool. But the fools were right. This is truly what has happened in your lifetime. And a future historian will say, these are the best of times. But as you know, they're also the worst of times. The world's #1 economic power, the United States of America, will be surpassed by the world's #1 emerging power, China, in the coming decade or so. So please fasten your seatbelts. I can confidently predict that the world is going to fly into geopolitical turbulence in the coming decade. Singapore will be shaken. Singapore has not yet experienced a terrorist attack, but the sounds of terrorist explosions are coming closer and closer. The deep tensions between the Islamic world and the West have not diminished. Indeed, they may be getting worse. And there will be more and more political surprises. America will elect Trump. Malaysia will dump Najib. And Trump and Kim may meet in Singapore. This turbulent world is also a reality. In short, we do live in wild and impossible times. And that's why I say, as beneficiaries of a wild and impossible dream yourselves, I suggest that each and every one of you should focus on such wild and impossible missions. Yes, I know that you want to focus on your jobs, on your careers. We all have to do that. But as you know, humanity doesn't live on bread alone. In our strange and unusual times, we must also pursue wild and impossible missions. So let me suggest 3 examples of wild and impossible missions. I mentioned earlier that there will be geopolitical turbulence between America and China. Yet, a war is neither inevitable or even likely if we work hard to build bridges of understanding between Chinese and Western civilizations. Now, let me ask you this question. Which college in the world has been among the first to teach its students both Eastern and Western philosophy? It's the Yale-NUS College. You've all studied Confucius and Plato, Buddha and Aristotle. You're probably in a better position to understand the different mental universes of Chinese and American minds. Therefore, the world will look to you, the graduates of Yale-NUS, to build bridges of understanding. And I'm pleased to note that some of you have already begun to do this. For example, Lim Chu Sien was interested in... I see you know the story even before I tell you. But let me share with the rest. Lim Chu Sien was interested in doing medicine. But before committing herself to a specialized discipline immediately after junior college, she opted for a broader liberal arts education. And as her understanding of the world grew, so did her insights into medicine and healthcare. By taking a course on urbanization in China, before spending a summer studying abroad in Kunming, studying traditional Chinese medicine, she felt better equipped to grasp the influences of unique geographical and sociocultural landscapes on a community's perception of health. Learning about the globalization of health and chairing the World Health Organization Committee for a Model ASEAN Conference as part of a student organization event made her aware of regional nuances underlying healthcare policies. She said, and I quote, "Going straight into medicine may have been easier and shorter. However, I would not have acquired my current sensitivity to cultural nuances needed in developing empathy with others." Now, the key words here are cultural nuances needed in developing empathy with others. Just imagine a world where American and Chinese leaders showed sensitivity to cultural nuances needed in developing empathy with others. Just imagine Donald Trump doing so. We are a long way. Let me suggest a second, apparently impossible mission. You're all graduating from Yale-NUS College, which is a liberal arts and sciences college. The emphasis is on the word sciences. Because the gap between the arts and sciences is growing bigger, not smaller. Amazing developments are taking place in the sciences. You know that well. One example, artificial intelligence could improve our lives significantly, but it also poses dangers. A 95-year-old man who's a good friend of Singapore, I'm not talking about Dr. Mahathir, he's only 92. The 95-year-old man is Henry Kissinger. He has warned us of this danger. He said that the culmination of artificial intelligence may be a world relying on machines powered by data and algorithms and ungoverned by ethical or philosophical norms. Clearly, this will be a dangerous world. So the question again for all of you is this: since you graduated in both the arts and sciences, Can you find a solution to this challenging problem? Here again, I'm pleased to note that some of you understand well the different universes of the arts and sciences. For example, Sean Lim has decided to do a PhD at Sanford Burnham Prebys Medical Discoveries Institute's Graduate School of Biological Sciences, a non-profit medical research institute based in California, USA. When he was in Yale-NUS, he was also passionate about the performing arts and was involved in a number of arts and drama groups on campus. He has explained well how this immersion in both worlds has transformed him. And I quote, "The analytical thinking and reasoning skills, which I honed in as a life sciences major, together with the communication and performative skills with my keen interest in theater at Yale-NUS, are tools that have broadened my capacity for self-knowledge. Not only do I have a developed appreciation for a broad range of topics, I feel that I've created a habit of exposing myself to new ideas with an open mind," unquote. My hope is that strengths like his in communication skills will enable him to explain the new challenges that scientific discoveries are presenting to the world. Now, my third example of an apparently impossible mission may seem to be the easiest one to do, but it may be the most difficult mission for the Singapore graduates. Because there's one remarkable paradox about Singapore. We are clearly one of the most successful societies in human history. Indeed, as a former ambassador to the UN, I can say with great confidence that most nations envy our golden history since our independence in 1965. But this is the paradox. We've had a golden history, but we don't have a golden history book that explains well the first 50 years of Singapore's history as an independent nation. This is very strange. In theory, a balanced history book should be very easy to write. In practice, it has proven to be very difficult. Clearly, we are counting on a Yale-NUS graduate to produce such a book. And let me add a sweetener to this challenge. A $50,000 Singapore History Prize is waiting for the first person to produce a golden history book on Singapore's first 50 years. May one of you win it someday. In short, to conclude, there is no shortage of wild and impossible missions for the graduates of what has been a wild and impossible mission that became a reality. I wish you great success. But if you fail from time to time, as we all do, pick yourself up and keep going. As I said at the beginning, we are all blessed to live in interesting times. Let us seize the opportunities and make the world an even better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Mabubani. May I invite Yale-NUS President, Professor Tan Tai Young, to present the Yale-NUS graduands to the presiding officer, Madam Kay Kwok.
Madam Presiding Officer, may I present to you the concurrent degree graduates. Yale-NUS College and the National University of Singapore Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy, Bachelor of Arts with Honours and Master in Public Policy. Majoring in History, Tinesh Indra Raja, Madam Presiding Officer, may I present to you the double degree graduates. Bachelor of Arts with Honours and Bachelor of Laws with Honours. Recipient of the Sheila Ann Hay Prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Law and Liberal Arts, Christopher Q. Wei Lian. Amelia Chiu Si Hui. Elizabeth Chan Ming Lee. Kinari Nilesh Sahita. Natasha Sim Lee Hong. Ong Chi Yao. Wang Zimin Charlotte. Madam Presiding Officer, may I present to you the Bachelor of Arts with Honours graduates, majoring in anthropology, recipient of the Bernard Bate Prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Anthropology, Chia Jie Lin. Zheng Yi Kai. Ilya Katrinada Binte Zubaidi. Cleona Yong Fen An. Jamie Lynn Bautela. Jane Christine Chang. Medley Shannon Bordeaux. Meredith Jane Jett. Nicole Lim Chi. Saza Faradilla. Shelby Alice Go. Ziad bin Ahmad Bagharib. Majoring in Arts and Humanities. Recipient of the Prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in the Arts and Humanities, Roshan Singh Sambi. Anisha Charan. Chua Yu En. Hunter Panther Deerfield Cummingshaw. Iwani Zoe Mawocha. Janejira Jirundon. Julianne Patricia Thompson. Lo Chiu Lee Hillary. Muahidin bin Othman. Kwek Siu Yin. Teo Xiao Ting. Majoring in economics. Recipient of the prize for outstanding capstone project in economics. Alex Pont Grau. Bernie Chen. Clarice Liao Zhiqi. Colette Sutida Charanusati. Fatima Azara Daif. Go Gangming Gordon. Lee Kun Min. Lo Yi Hao Allen. Luke Ong Jian Fan. Pareen Prashant Chowdhury. Fuvan Raj S. Mohan. Charlene Chow. Shrisha Pradhan. Yao Yu Hong. Majoring in anthropology, Mark Lee Wen Yi. Majoring in Environmental Studies, recipient of the prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Environmental Studies, Tan Wei Liang. Elaine Taylor Johnson. Andrew Lai Xuan En. Dominic Chua Dun Hao. Feroz Muhammad Khan. Kimberly Hung Yen Yi. Peter Michael Lewis. Tong Chi Ying. Tong Xue Yin. Majoring in Global Affairs. Recipient of the prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Global Affairs, Anjali Hasra. Recipient of the Tan Sin Meng Prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Chinese Studies, Joshua Leong Rong Tai. Karan Seha Jason Kalo Ong. Harini V. Ip Wing Yi Tiffany. Jermaine Pan Ching. Kaushik Swaminathan. Marusa Godina. Matthew Ryan Ware. Tamara Burgos Rojas. Nia Jani Lambert. Majoring in History. Recipient of the prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in History, Ham Ming Kai Derek. Kathleen Dian Cho Mei Ying. Hannah Yo Hui En. Herman Lim bin Adam Lim. Su Jing Yi. Josh Jeremy Ragbia. Lim Min. Lagwa Suran Amabold. Rachel Hao Wei Chi.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. I would now like to invite the faculty speaker, Associate Professor of Humanities, Sarah Weiss, to deliver her speech. Associate Professor Weiss was nominated by the graduands to speak on behalf of the Yale-NUS faculty and is one of the college's inaugural faculty members and the rector of Saga College. Associate Professor Weiss and her family, including her dog Milo, have been an integral part of the Yale-NUS residential community. Associate Professor Weiss, please.
Madam Kay Kwok, Presiding Officer and Chair Yale-NUS Governing Board. Mr. Xie Fu Hua, Chairman NUS Board of Trustees. Members of the NUS Board of Trustees and Yale-NUS Governing Board. Professor Tang Eng Chai, President of NUS. Professor Tan Taiyang, President Yale-NUS College. Parents, families, friends, Yale-NUS alumni for the first time, distinguished guests, and dear, dear Yale-NUS class of 2018. Thank you for inviting me to speak to you this afternoon. It's an honor to be chosen by you, my first cohort as rector, and my most beloved. Shh, don't tell. Let me begin by offering heartfelt congratulations to you all and to your families. You have done it. You're graduating. In this collective act, you immediately double the Yale-NUS alumni cohort in exactly the same way you doubled the student population of the college nearly 4 years ago in July 2014. That was when you arrived at RC4 and claimed it as your own, much to the consternation of the class of 2017. In that act of collective claiming, you began constructing the community that is the Yale-NUS class of 2018. How shall we define that elusive community, one which we all experience so palpably, especially at this moment? A community such as yours is much more than people, place, time. It's a gathering. It's a gathering comprised of your individual and collective experiences over the last 4 years, tempered and colored by your various pasts, formed within the embrace of the human and physical structures of the college itself, and fluidly overlapping with the simultaneously emergent, mutually constituting communities of the cohorts in front and behind you. This community thrives in you as you thrive within it. You were the first cohort to engage with the idea of being divided into 3 different residential colleges. You embraced the idea of belonging to these RC communities with an enthusiasm that was surprising to all of us, and especially gratifying to the 3 rectors at the time. We had spent the whole summer before your arrival, wondering, racking our brains how it was exactly that we might guide you into these residential communities that were still largely imaginary and generally referred to only by number. However, friendly competition and your strong freshman drive to belong to any and everything did much of the work for us. And so by the time we returned from our RCX trips to Laos, Borneo, and Vietnam, our residential college identities had already begun to form, and along with them, your Yale-NUS community. The brilliance of the RCX trips is that after the first few intentionally exhausting days on campus, you do remember the 2-day amazing race, right? Exhausting. We transport a still disparate hodgepodge of students from around the world to another place, another new place, for experiences that are, because of the context and who's there, absolutely new to everyone. There, through displacement, discomfort, intellectual engagement, a collective effort, and a healthy dose of the unpredictable, a certain magic is conjured such that when the students come back to Singapore, the group has the feeling that this previously new and strange campus is somehow home, familiar and welcoming. That sense of a shared home has been an essential component in the scaffolding that has supported the development of your community. 4 years later, we find that you, the marvelous class of 2018, have built a community that is strong enough to withstand argument and disagreement among its constituents, a community that persists when you go away, be it for a semester, a summer, a year, a community which welcomes you back eagerly, keen to savor your fresh ideas and experiences. Nurtured in the fertile imaginary of the common curriculum, you have developed an intellectual community that revels in the pleasures of academic discourse across disciplines and worldviews, whether it's in the dining hall, in the elevator, the common lounge, or at a senior colloquium. Simultaneously, you have nurtured a collective effervescence, a heady mix comprised of expectation, confidence, humility, aspiration, community engagement, and a steady belief in your own capacity and that of others to always be better. You might think, however, that this is a terrifying time to graduate. Fundamentalism of every sort, religious, cultural, political, national, is on the rise around the world. The only things increasing faster are the average background temperature of the Earth and its associated rise of ocean levels. Further, long-term employment in one community or institution is no longer an expected norm. It's predicted that people your age may have as many as 10 jobs over the course of your career. As much as you, or maybe even more, your parents, may wish for you to simply get a job and get settled, it's likely that change will persist for you as you develop and grow over the coming years. Despite these gloomy predictions, I hasten to point out that there has never, ever been a time to graduate from college when the world was not already changing rapidly. Change is part of human existence. The extraordinary rate of human development since Homo sapiens started sauntering across the world has come about because even as we create problems, we sow the seeds required to solve them. It's more than luck that has driven humans to overcome immense odds and to thrive in the myriad ways in which we've done. Now it's your turn. How will you engage your Yale-NUS community as you move forward? It's a vast resource of mental and physical capability and wisdom. How will you build new communities in the world beyond Yale-NUS? Will you work to bring our outside-the-box problem-solving, our cross-disciplinary research approaches, our first among equals shared leadership techniques, and our welcome embrace of difference to your new worlds? Or will you let those essential, game-changing elements lapse in contexts where others may not share or may even fear those values? As we ultimately left RC4 and moved onto our beautiful new campus, even though some of you claim to miss RC4, and as we shed our RC numbers to become the arboreal trio known as Saga, Elm, and Chandana, as seeds must inevitably mature and travel in their many different ways to new locations in order to germinate and form new forests, so must you now move on from your RCs and from Yale-NUS College. You must go. You must grow your roots in different soil. While you will do this individually, you are not alone. You are not abandoned. You have your vibrant Yale-NUS community to accompany you into your new worlds. Nurture it, for you will need its worldly wisdom and its deep understanding of who you are and where you come from. Even as we all leave the physical embrace of this college, we continue to be connected. All of you are ready, even if some of you think you are not. My best advice for you is to seize the unexpected opportunities that cross your path, but also to work especially hard to create them, both for yourselves and for others. You chose to join Yale-NUS College practically before it existed. You and your families are among the thrivers of the world, people willing to take a calculated risk on something new, something you intuit will be extraordinary. So it has been. So have you been. And so will you be. Because doing something twice at Yale-NUS officially makes it a long-standing and continuous tradition, in closing, I quote liberally from the same Celtic blessing that Prof. Anjou Paul used in her graduation speech last year. May the blessing of light be upon you, warming your heart until it glows, so that stranger and friend may come and warm themselves by it. May the blessing of the rain be upon you. May it beat upon your spirit and wash you clean. May the blessing of the earth be upon you, firm under your feet as you walk into the future, and yet soft as you lie upon it at the end of the day. Bless you all, bless you kindly, and keep on being your own awesome selves. Congratulations, Yale-NUS College Class of 2018. Rock on. Thank you. Thank you. Stop. Thank you. Stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Associate Professor Weiss. May I invite Yale-NUS President, Professor Tan Tai Young, to continue presenting the Yale-NUS graduands to Presiding Officer, Madam Kay Kwok.
Madam Presiding Officer, may I present to you the Bachelor of Arts with Honors graduates. Majoring in Literature, recipient of the prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Literature, Trung Ha Tu. Eva Marie Anna Klein. Felicia So Wei Ting. Q Tian Wei Sarah. Lishani Indumini Ramanayaka. Pang Wen Kang Benson. Rebecca Lucia Lindberg. Ritika Biswas. Majoring in Philosophy. Recipient of the prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Philosophy, Cherise Nasrin Njingya. Sheena Chua, Yun Do Ng, majoring in philosophy, politics, and economics. Recipient of the prize for outstanding capstone project in the philosophy, politics, and economics, Cheryl Nazik Koslet. Recipient of the prize for outstanding capstone project in philosophy, politics, and economics, Xiao Yongzhi. Aishani Sen, Ajinkya Suhas Chogule, Anshul Singhania, David Paul Chappelle, Go Jin Kwang Timothy, Juan Sebastian Cortez Sanchez, Maria Anna Isabel Udal Perucho, Martin Mario Vasev, Michael Christopher Moore Jones, Nur Diana Binte Kamarudin, Peter Ui Tek Un, Pogaru Saisrika, Regina Ng Si En, Sarah Emma Novak, Simonas Batulis, Tan Heng Yeng, Ti Chuo, majoring in psychology, recipient of the prize for outstanding capstone project in psychology, Gabriel Alfonso Cuyequeng Basco, Glenn Killian Ko Eng Kai, Jocelyn Yong Yung Yi, Kalia Marisa Keelin, Lai Kam Yi Slin. Lee Itai Damien. Lee Yun Si. Hong Jia Jin Keith. Victoria Chappelle. Woo Jun Kit. Majoring in Urban Studies. Recipient of the prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Urban Studies, Kavya Gopal. Angela May Ferguson. Elizabeth Heng Lee Yi. Hannah Adelaide James. Holly Lynn Apsley. Lim Si Eun. Nyang Bing Lin. Rachel Lim Cheng Woon. Rachel Lim Wan Shen. Tong Rainey. Madam Presiding Officer, may I present to you the Bachelor of Science with Honours graduates, majoring in Life Sciences. Recipient of the prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Life Sciences, J. Brinton Lask. Recipient of the prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Life Sciences, Helen Jingshu Jin. Adam Go Hong Yong. Lim Chu Sien. Mei Mei Tan Heng Yi. Sharon Essie Dodoa Kwe. Majoring in Mathematical, Computational, and Statistical Sciences, recipient of the prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Mathematical, Computational, and Statistical Sciences, Abhinav Venkatesh Natharajan. Aaron Ong Chong Shi. Aaron Sing Wo Peng. Adam Yu Ming Tongs. Alexander John Meyer. Chong Wun Han. Evan Asava Ari. Olikal Arumaraj Rishi. Ong Kai Ching Jin. Pratyush Moore. Sylvia Lara. Yong Kai Yi. Majoring in Physical Sciences. Recipient of the prize for Outstanding Capstone Project in Physical Sciences, Jonathan Aaron Gazet. Ka Ying Lee. Wu Xun Jian. Madam Presiding Officer, may I present to you the following award winners. Recipient of the Emerging Young Leader Award, Ng Ming Chong Daniel. Recipient of the Class of 2017 Award, Di Chua.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Distinguished guests, I would now like to present the Overtime Project, a Yale-NUS a cappella group made up of some of our very own graduands. The Overtime Project came together in their first year and have performed locally and internationally at platforms such as the Esplanade's Voices Festival and the 2017 Pan-Pacific Barbershop Convention. Needless to say, the quartet has made regular appearances at Yale-NUS events over the last 4 years. Please put your hands together to welcome the Overtime Project.
Thank you, everybody. We're very honored to have this opportunity to sing today. The song we're going to sing is a song that we identified as the song that we wanted to sing at graduation way back in freshman year. Because seriously, we were already looking forward to it then. And so the song that we're going to sing is called This Is the Moment, and we are excited to sing it for you because we think it captures the energy and emotion of this exciting time in our lives and the transition that is going to come basically now. So, thank you.
This is the moment. This is the day. This is the moment when I know I'm on my way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play, is here and now today. This is the moment, this is the time when the momentum and the moment are in rhyme. Give me this moment, this moment, this moment. I'll gather up my past and make some sense at last. This is the moment, my final test. Destiny beckoned, I never reckoned second best. This is the day, just see it shine, when all I've lived for becomes mine. This is the moment, this is the hour when I can open up tomorrow like a flower and put my hand to everything that I plan to fulfill my grand design, see all my stars align. This is the moment, damn all the odds. This day or never, I sit forever with the gods. When I look back, I will recall moment for moment. This was the moment, the greatest moment of them all. The greatest moment, moment of them all.
Thank you, the Overtime Project. The graduands have selected their student speaker, who will now address us on behalf of the class. Let's welcome Ms. Cheryl Nazik Koslet, a philosophy, politics, and economics major, to deliver her speech. Ms. Koslet has been a part of the Japan Society as well as the leadership team of the Debate Society at Yale-NUS. In her final year, she was also a peer writing tutor and a residential college advisor, providing mentorship, advice, and support to a group of first-year students. Ms. Koslet, please.
Madam Kay Kwok, Presiding Officer and Chair of the Yale-NUS Governing Board, Mr. Shi-Fu Hua, Chairman, NUS Board of Trustees, members of the NUS Board of Trustees and the Yale-NUS Governing Board, Professor Tan-Neng Chai, President of NUS, Professor Tan Taeyong, President of Yale-NUS College, the Yale-NUS faculty, our professors who have similarly come and built this school with us, who taught us in and out of the classroom, and who were there to witness and share our Yale-NUS memories. The Yale-NUS administration and staff, including but not limited to SIBE, Dean's Fellows, Infra, the dining hall staff, our cleaners and gardeners, and everyone who has made this education and community possible. Parents, families, and distinguished guests. And to all of you, my dear class of 2018. In a world where everyone strives to be the first, and where our generation is increasingly rewarded for being novel and original and risk-taking and entrepreneurial, it's easy to believe that impact has to come from creation. But our class knows that the hardest and most important work lies in maintaining whatever has been started in this school. If we celebrate leadership and pioneering, then we must also celebrate the mundane, the nitty-gritty, the commitment that mostly goes unseen. As the second class to graduate from Yale-NUS, we won't be celebrated as the pioneers today. That we too created initiatives and invented traditions is a given. But what I would like for us to remember is that continuing a legacy is as worthy as starting one, and that self-sacrifice and community have defined us as Yale-NUS students and should continue to define us as Yale-NUS graduates. The class of 2017 taught us how to make things out of nothing, but we were the first to have to deal with the legacy. How do we accept and work on pre-existing problems? How do we dedicate ourselves to improving something? A club, a task, an initiative? How do we admit that sometimes we just have no clue? I came home late one night to a messy suite. Glitter, cardboards, and papers were everywhere. Friends from our class, still sophomores then, were sitting on the floor, cutting, coloring, sweating. They didn't sleep that night so they could help decorate the stage of one of the school's biggest Model UN conferences. And they were not even part of that organization. I have since then witnessed the same scene over and over again. The night before Workers' Appreciation Day, before Migrant Workers Awareness Week, before a town hall, before our dance troops and sports team competed at NUS. Looking back, I realized that it must have taken a certain kind of self-sacrifice to be at a place like Yale-NUS, knowing that your time is probably worth more than the back pain and the frustration of doing something quite invisible. But you do it anyway, for the sake of camaraderie and solidarity. We've given the school not one, but 2 student government presidents. But let's remember those who voluntarily manned the ballot boxes and handed out stickers in RC4. In the ancient times when voting on Canva somehow was an option, just so we could have a government in the first place. Daryl came to the school already an established activist, and we thank his G-Spot team for the first queer orientation and the dialogue with Ambassador Chan. His first Yale-NUS activism, though, was not a policy recommendation or discussions with the admin. It was knocking on our doors with Jaylin, asking us to co-sign a letter to the student newspapers Panopt in response to a poster in the elevator that trivialized the trans community. Collectively, our class has produced published poets like Xiao Ting and Min, filmmakers like Din and Rachel Kwek, budding scholars and doctors like Cherise and Shoops and Jay. I am equally proud that we've also produced the most dedicated buttery teams like Amar Bolt and Roshan, with their promotional videos of the nest that I always look forward to. Jane, who asked the whole school in freshman year if we wanted to ice skate with her and that she would teach us how to. Elaine, who would bake vegan cookies for any event. Or Rachel Limb, who had an idea to paint graffiti on makeshift walls and included us on board. I don't want to be just a cog in the machine, we all say, having read Weber in Modern Social Thought. But you know what? I think 2018 might have enjoyed being cogs. In opposition to Weber, we have shown that being a little cog does not entail the loss of our autonomy, individual freedom, or common purpose. The school has had its fair share of directors and presidents of co-founders and captains. But where would it be without the first sign-ups? The people who indicated interest on Facebook and actually came. The volunteer makeup artists, The Minions. We 2018 were the first of those, and I want to recognize all of you. Dear friends, you've also shown me that being part of a community and practicing humility means and extends beyond taking a problem. It also means recognizing a problem and admitting that we too are a part of it. Kavya, Ritika, Julianne, and T, and others I cannot mention, you were not the first to discuss sexual health and misconduct policies on campus. But you continued the conversation and stuck through with action when it got difficult, despite knowing that you were leaving in months. Mental health is a widely shared reality. Yet, in the midst of it all, it really felt comforting to know that Josie or Alex Meyer stayed on as peer counselors, or that Glenn was still mentoring freshmen over at Allo. In 2018, no education can have fully prepared us for going back home to our family and friends. We'll have to deal with problems, some of which were ours to begin with, some of which not. We'll be in many different communities, whether we like it or not. But I believe there's always a place for us to do something. As you have seen in yourselves, all that is left might just be the humility to accept that life is so ordinary after all. But just like you did here, you should consider the community for the sake of camaraderie and solidarity. Continuing a legacy requires the kind of humility which I hope continues to drive us when we go out into the world. Continuing the legacies of Yale-NUS has taught us to accept something: a reality, a club, a community, a person, a mess, a gift, and turn it into something just a little better. I hope that has made us ready to leave and deal with the legacies of the world around us. And to quote Kendrick Lamar, I hope we be humble, always. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Koslet. Graduands, as we come to the end of today's ceremony, we would like to extend our heartiest congratulations to you on your achievements throughout your time at Yale-NUS. We also warmly welcome you to the Yale-NUS alumni family. We look forward to staying connected and witnessing the many wonderful things you will go on to achieve from here.
I declare the ceremony closed.
Distinguished guests, please rise for the national anthem. Thank you for joining us on this special occasion. Distinguished guests, please enjoy the tea reception that has been set up at the foyer. Graduands, please follow the directions of the student marshals and join us for a class photo at the atrium immediately after the recession. Once again, Congratulations. Please remain standing as the ceremonial procession takes its leave.